you a Mortal Kombat fan? And how much did you enjoy the series, and how much did you enjoy the character Siro?
So I was a huge fan of the movie. I mean, when the first movie came out, it was like blood, it was like a blood sport. We were all like, "Oh my God, what is this? This is completely new. This is amazing." The music, the fight scenes, the video game characters, it was so unique. And I remember I actually read for one of the Mortal Kombat movies, and it
Okay,
was before I think I read for Johnny Cage,
okay,
and it was before Bloodsport. And I was a very, very green actor. I haven't even really acted yet. I came to LA and I had a meeting. Larry Kazanoff, the producer, he
yeah,
met me and he liked me because Larry's a huge martial arts fan, huge. And he knew that I was up for Bloodsport. So he wanted to meet me. And my agent at the time introduced me. And he was a huge fan and he really wanted me to work on Mortal Kombat. And I was just not ready, you know. And I remember it was Paul Anderson, right, who directed it, right?
yeah.
And I remember it was so nice, you know. I read with casting, and Paul was there, and he took me outside on after the audition. He took me outside on after the audition on the balcony, and he just said to me, he says, "You did good, but just keep studying."
Okay.
I was like, okay, I know I didn't get it. But then later on, when the TV show came about, so then I did Bloodsport, got a couple of movies under my belt, and then Larry Kasanoff came back and he called my agent. He said, "Hey, I have a role for Daniel Bernhardt. I want him to play Siro in Mortal Kombat Conquest." And I read the script, had to meet the studio. It was at the time New Line Cinema. Met the studio, they liked me, and I was in. And it was one of the best times I've ever had. I moved to Orlando for 8 months. We became Paolo, Christina, myself. We became like this team, and we became really good friends. And it was just such. It was one of the best times I've ever had in my life. It was just awesome. Living in Florida, working on Mortal Kombat Conquest, playing this character Zero, doing a lot of my own fight. I couldn't do all my own fight scenes because time wouldn't allow it. I
Hmm.
had to have stunt doubles who sometimes just do stuff for me just because of time. Um, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. Daniel, I remember Bruce Locke saying something to me, who played a wonderfully talented Shang Tsung, and he said to me for the first 18 episodes, the story was going on a real good arc in terms of the storyline, and there was a budget, but it almost felt to him that this was going to run on and run on in terms of that. And he almost felt to me, he was saying to me that if there was a streaming service back then, like a Netflix or an Amazon Prime, or this would have gone on for like four, three, four, five sort of seasons. But it was costing $1 million to produce each one of the shows, I believe, in terms of that. But it almost felt that from episode 19 to 22, he almost felt that the ending was hurried a bit in terms of that the wrap up, that he almost felt like the first 18 episodes that you were really going really, really strong, and then you had to finish it up very, very quickly, and dare I say, and that he almost felt like that it had the potential. There was so much storyline, so much arc there, that he said you could have easily done another 18 episodes.
I mean, to be honest, I was very disappointed when it didn't continue. We all thought that we had such a good show because we were up against, I remember Pamela Anderson had a show out, I think called VIP, and we had better ratings, and we didn't get renewed. And there was some political stuff. I don't know exactly why, but I always had this idea, and I pitched it to Larry. Why not bring the show back now?
Yeah.
Why not now, us later? Do a jump in time. Bring Paolo back, bring myself back, bring Christina back. I mean, everybody. How fun would that be?
Yeah, and I suppose, Daniel, there is a gap in the market for it, like, in terms of the millions and millions of fan base. There isn't a TV series out there. We have two movies coming out, another third one. So it's all in the news. It's all in the entertainment news, dare I say. And the publicity has never been as big as since it was back in 1995, 1999 as well. So obviously, ye had the perfect recipe in terms of success for the sort of TV sort of show in the past, and dare I say, maybe the hunger is there, and the time has passed that dare I say a revival would fit into that market.
I think it'd be fantastic. I mean, I would love, I would love that. I mean, if I would get a call and say, "Hey, come back to Mortal Kombat," I'd be like, I kind of did something like this right now with Deathstalker, but why not? And
Mm,
you know why I got Deathstalker? You know why?
right.
Steven, our director,
Mm,
watched Mortal Kombat and loved me so much in Mortal Kombat as Siro. That's how he thought of me to play Deathstalker.
mm.
How funny is that?
Yeah. And I suppose in terms of the cast as well, I suppose such iconic roles. Christina obviously went on to a massive role in Terminator and sort of stuff like that. But she even speaks so highly of the series. Jeff Meek obviously in the series played two guys, Raiden and Shao Kahn, in terms of that. But in terms of the whole combats that you had came in terms of Scorpion and Sub-Zero and in terms of those sort of fight scenes in terms of that is something that you really nailed for the time being that you set the light for those sort of fight sequences with Scorpion and Sub-Zero that really brought on the franchise.
You know, and funny you're saying that, like the guy who played Sub-Zero is a really good friend of mine, JJ Perry.
Mm.
And still today, you know, he's become a really famous director too. I don't know if you know that. The
Yeah,
guy, yeah, he's a big director now. He directed Day Shift, the
yeah,
vampire movie. He directed Killer's Game, and
yeah.
he directed another movie that's out right now, which I forgot. But he is and we're still friends today. And he was an amazing fighter back then. So that was where Larry Kazanoff was so smart. He brought in, because Larry is a huge martial arts fan,
Mm.
and he brought in the best people he could fight, the best people he could find. People who could fight. He brought in, you know, myself. He brought in JJ. He brought in Chris Casamasas, and then he brought in all these other guys who were these incredible. I forgot their names now, but the incredible martial arts guys. I don't know if you remember. There's actually in episode one there was a guy called John Valera who
Mm.
played one of the stunt guys. Also, he's one of the 8711 guys. He's become a huge second unit director. So all those guys, just everybody went on into their own world and own directions.